Have you ever felt that tight knot in your stomach right before a big presentation? Or maybe that jittery, frantic energy before a final exam? Well, for a whole lot of people, the answer to that feeling comes in a tiny yellow bottle, Bach Rescue Remedy. But what is actually in it? And more importantly, does it really work? We're going to dive into the science, the story, and the psychology behind this super popular remedy.
You know the feeling, right? That little wave of panic before a big job interview, during a tough exam, or just that general feeling of being on edge. It's that kind of everyday anxiety that can creep up when you're under pressure. And in those exact moments, tons of people reach for this one particular natural product. It's become this go-to solution for taking the edge off of emotional stress and that panicky feeling.
All right, so what is the whole deal with this little yellow bottle? Here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at what's actually inside it. Then, we'll get into the fascinating story of the doctor who came up with it. After that, we hit the big question. Does it work? We'll dig into the science, and then we'll explore the incredible power of belief. And finally, we'll check out some other proven ways you can manage anxiety. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is in this stuff? Inside this bottle is a special blend of 5 different flower essences, and each one is picked for a specific emotional purpose. You've got rock rose, which is meant to give you courage, impatience, to help you find some patience, clematis, to bring your focus back to the here and now, Star of Bethlehem, for comfort, and cherry plum, to help you keep your composure. It's kind of like a little emotional first aid kit.
And you know, a huge part of its popularity is just how easy it is to get your hands on. You can find it almost everywhere, in the supermarket, at the pharmacy, online. That easy access has made it a really convenient choice for people dealing with everyday stress.
But this remedy is so much more than just a list of ingredients. It's actually the result of a pretty radical idea from a doctor who was ready to challenge the medical thinking of his time.
So, meet Dr. Edward Bach. Back in the 1930s, he was a successful physician, but he was getting really frustrated. He saw his colleagues treating diseases, but they weren't really treating the people who had them. He had this belief that true healing had to start with our emotions and our mind. So he just walked away from his successful London practice and went looking for a whole new way to heal. And what he found in the English countryside, well, it would change everything.
Now, this is what's so interesting about Dr. Bach's core philosophy. He believed that physical sickness wasn't just about germs or biology. He thought it was the direct result of a conflict between your mind and spirit. So things like fear, worry, or resentment, he believed those were the real roots of disease. Okay, and this is where things get a little different. Bach's remedies are not like the essential oils you might be used to. They aren't designed to have a direct physical effect on your body. Instead, they're called flower essences. And the whole idea here is that they work on a vibrational or energetic level, capturing the plant's life force to help bring our emotions back into balance. It's a concept that's definitely outside the box of modern medicine, but it's totally key to understanding what Bach was trying to achieve. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, is there any scientific evidence to actually back these claims up? Let's take a look at what the research has to say.
So, what does the science say? Well, in 2010, a group of researchers decided they were going to get to the bottom of this once and for all. They did a huge review of all the high-quality scientific studies ever done on Bach Flower Remedies. They really wanted to know, is there any solid proof that these things work?
And they were tough. They started with 86 different studies, but they threw out anything that wasn't what we call a randomized controlled trial. That's the gold standard in medical research. When all was said and done, only 7 studies were good enough to make the cut. So this is truly the best of the best when it comes to the evidence.
And the final verdict? After all that sifting and sorting, the researchers found nothing. The most reliable scientific evidence we have shows that Bach Flower Remedies work no better than a placebo. That's right, a sugar pill.
So this brings up a really fascinating question. If the science says it's just a placebo, then why is rescue remedies still so incredibly popular?
So how do we square that circle? How can so many people swear by this stuff? Well, for one, the remedy itself isn't even supposed to work on a physical level. It's not like taking an aspirin for a headache. It's meant to be more of a ritual, a moment you take for self-care. And that's where the power of the placebo effect can really shine. And let's be super clear here. The placebo effect is not just all in your head. It is a real, measurable biological thing. When we truly believe something is going to help us, our brains can actually make that happen. And Rescue Remedy, well, it checks all the boxes for a powerful placebo.
It's natural, it's gentle, it's safe, and it gives us a sense of control. In a world that feels really overwhelming sometimes, that alone can be a powerful thing.
And then, there's the flowers themselves. Think about it. For centuries, we have turned to flowers for comfort in our most difficult moments. They're a symbol of life, of hope, of the promise that even after the darkest winter, spring is going to come again. And that is a powerful idea to hold on to when you're feeling a little lost. Audrey Hepburn put it perfectly. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. And in a way, that's what something like Rescue Remedy is all about. It's a small act of self-care, a way of telling yourself that you believe in your own ability to feel better. And that is a powerful thing, whether it comes from a bottle or from your own two hands in the dirt.
So, with all that in mind, let's move on to our final section and look at some other evidence-based strategies that exist for managing anxiety.
So what if you're looking for something with a bit more scientific muscle behind it? Well, one of the most effective tools we have for dealing with anxiety is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. You can think of it as a personal trainer for your brain. It helps you spot the negative thought patterns that are tripping you up, and then it gives you practical tools to challenge them and build healthier ways of thinking.
But you don't have to be in therapy to start taking back control of your anxiety. The small choices we make every single day can have a massive impact on our mental health. It's not about making huge, dramatic changes overnight. It's about building small, consistent habits that will support you for the long haul.
So what's in your anxiety-fighting toolkit? The research is crystal clear on what really works. Getting your body moving, even for just a few minutes a day. Making sure you're getting enough good quality sleep. Taking a few deep, centering breaths when you feel overwhelmed. And of course, connecting with people who love and support you. These are the things that truly make a difference.
So, what's the final verdict on Bach Rescue Remedy? It's kind of a fascinating puzzle, isn't it? The science says it's a placebo, but for millions of people, it's a genuine comfort. And that leaves us with a pretty big question. When it comes to healing, what really matters more? What's actually in the bottle, or what's in our belief?